Hey guys, what's up? So, this vlog I'm doing outdoors because right now my family and everyone else are inside making noise and getting ready because we're about to go and do some errands and stuffs. But I really wanted to finally, I wanted to do this yesterday and the day before, but I couldn't. And I want to do this vlog where I just literally talk about the Avengers Age of Ultron and nothing else. I mean, I'm working on a bunch of stuff, which I pretty much already showed you the majority of in my last vlog, but now, in this vlog, I just want to talk about the Avengers Age of Ultron trailer because, oh my god, was it so freaking awesome. And it's so great because poor Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., man. A lot of people hate the show, and good god, you had good reason to in the first season, but I mean, the second season has really amped up, and it's a great show in the second season. You got some pretty awesome stuff going on with Hydra, and Absorbing Man was super sweet. We had Blizzard, and we had Mockingbird the last episode, but the ratings are dead, and they're dying even more, even though the show's already practically digging its grave, and that sucks because the show's actually good, but no one stuck around for it to get good. So Marvel was like, okay, we'll debut the Age of Ultron trailer on Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. next. Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., well, yeah. Marvel was like, we'll debut the Age of Ultron trailer on the next week's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., and then the internet was like, nope, and they just debuted the thing because it got leaked. And I remember I woke up from a nap, and I'm like, and I'm getting sent all this Age of Ultron stuff from my friends. I'm like, oh my god, what is going on? And then I finally, I went straight to my computer, downloaded the leaked trailer in case Marvel would take it down, and they didn't because they were like, well, there goes that, and they basically just released the damn thing, and it became fully available a week ahead of time, and I think that's really funny, but really sad at the same time, because I want Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. to continue as a show, and the internet doing things like that is not going to help, because that was going to gain the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Episode a lot of viewers, and that's kind of sad, but I mean, enough about Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. not succeeding. Oh my god! The trailer was absolutely insane. I mean, where to start? I mean, there are so many things in the trailer to talk about. The first thing being, well, I guess we can just go ahead and right off the bat talk about the Hulkbuster. That was super sweet, and the design was really, really awesome, and honestly, the Igor, I feel like, never happened now, because that is so unbelievably awesome, and how it blows away the Iron Man 3's Igor suit, because that's the Hulkbuster, and it's so great. No idea why Tony ends up having to fight the Hulk, if it's even him in the suit. Speaking of which, if Tony is not in those suits, I don't care. And that's just my opinion, because like I was, watching Iron Man 3, that's one of the many list of things that pissed me off about the movie, was that he was never in the suits, and that's what makes the action of Iron Man so exciting, is that he's in the suits. He could die, and in Iron Man 3, it was just like, he was just, remote controlling all of his toys, and while, yeah, they still look great, it was just so dissatisfying, because at the end of the battle, the suit would just get destroyed, no consequences to be had. But in the Avengers, he was getting the shit beaten out of him, and then it's just like Iron Man 3, there was no consequences to be had. But then, in this, it's just, I really hope he's going to be in the suits this time around. I don't want to see him not in the suits anymore. That's just my opinion, because I just think it's a lot more exciting when he's actually in the suits. So hopefully he's actually in the Hulkbuster, fighting the Hulk, for whatever reason. Maybe he's under, like, Ultron's mind control, and then the Hulk goes nuts in whatever country they were in, I believe. I don't know. I didn't actually pay attention that much. But one thing I did notice, speaking of the places the movie's taking place in, holy crap, every action sequence in the film, in that trailer anyway, so warm looking. Like, everything is warm, and everything takes place during the day, because Joss Whedon, nothing is allowed to take place at night, and it's great. But holy crap, every shot is so warm looking at, and that's good, because it's a different tone for the Avengers 2. The Avengers 2 is a darker tone. It's a more personal story, as Joss Whedon said, for the characters. It's not, the scale is still really massive, but it's not going to be like a massive battle of New York, I assume. It's going to be more the Avengers' personal story and what this is doing to them. And by the end of this movie, holy crap, poor Tony. I mean, he creates Ultron on accident, and this all happens because of him. And so by the end of Age of Ultron, he will probably just flat out lose his mind, because you watch this trailer and you see the shot where Thor is choking, he's choking Tony. I mean, that shot looks like it could have been taken right out of the Civil War movie, and that they could have literally put that into the movie. It's just like, I could see this turning into the Civil War easily in the next movie. So, and Joss Whedon also said Captain America and Iron Man, they're not friends in this movie. Steve and Tony, they're not friends. And everyone's blaming Tony, it looks like, in this movie, or at least mainly Cap and Thor. And yeah, but Ultron, holy crap. By the way, I know a lot of you guys are yelling at me in the last vlog because Civil War isn't necessarily confirmed, but come on. It's most likely gonna happen. The entire internet blew up over it, and usually that's not without reason, and especially when it comes from Variety, because Variety's really trusted, and I know it's not confirmed, but you all know it's gonna happen. So I am really, really excited about it, and that's gonna be awesome seeing how this movie shapes into Civil War. But yeah, so I also want to talk about, before Ultron, I mean, I have so much to say about Ultron, it's not even... I just cannot wait to see Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver. Granted, we're also waiting to see how Aaron Taylor Johnson's Quicksilver compares to Evan Peters' Quicksilver, but I mean, you have such a great looking Quicksilver, in my opinion, in terms of the secondary outfit we saw in the trailer. His first outfit that we've seen on set, I'm not really fond of, but in the second half of the trailer, it looks like he's saving Captain America from one of Ultron's bots, and that means he looks like he has a better outfit, maybe. I don't know, we couldn't really see it that well, but it did look okay. And then Scarlet Witch, her costume is a little bit underwhelming. Obviously, it doesn't look anything like the comics, but I mean, it's still really great how they're editing in her powers. The CGI for that is fantastic. And yeah, so both of them are going to be helping Ultron at the start of this movie. Obviously, I assume the Avengers will have done something to them. Either that, or humanity has done nothing for them, so they have no reason to defend humanity and that sort of thing. Because obviously, those are probably going to be some pretty dark characters, and that's why they help Ultron. And obviously, though, they join the Avengers team after, but I mean, that's gonna be, it's probably gonna be a hard sell for them for Tony and Cap and Thor and, you know, all of them to be like, oh, hey, these assholes with these incredible powers that were trying to kill us, let's just let them join the team. Obviously, I'm sure it'll be for good reason. I have no doubt in my mind about that. But also in the trailer, we saw what could be Andy Serkis playing the Black Panther's, playing the Black Panther's main villain, like his arch nemesis. I forget his name, but people speculate that he's going to be playing that character because that character is, he's heavily involved with vibranium, and obviously people think that Ultron will be after vibranium, and then maybe that's why he cracks Cap's shield, as long as that scene is not a dream sequence, and all these things going on in this trailer. And guys, I cannot believe that the Age of Ultron trailer is already here. I mean, if I remember when the name was announced at Comic-Con 2013, hell, I remember walking out of the theater after seeing the first Avengers and regretting seeing it in a standard theater and not seeing it in IMAX and all those things, and that happened on the day one of the Avengers. And it's so incredible how we are already at the trailer for the Avengers 2. We have already gone all the way through Phase 2, and we're at the end, and the Avengers 2 trailer is already here. And I cannot believe how fast time is going by, because my God, this is already happening in 6 freaking months. But yeah, so Ultron, my God. This entire vlog is me just fanboying over this entire thing. But I've been watching The Blacklist just to get excited for Age of Ultron. If you guys don't know James Spader, he's obviously he's the lead role in The Blacklist, where he plays basically someone on America, you know, like the FBI's top 10 list, and he basically, in exchange for him not being arrested, he's helping them hunt down some of the world's most horrible people. It's a lot more involved than that, the show, and it's a great story, and it's really dark in a lot of ways, and it's just a great show. So I've been watching that because James Spader is incredible in it, and so watching that and then hearing his voice, even more menacing than it is in The Blacklist, as Ultron, oh my God, it's so awesome. And Yeah, Ultron, he gets the last shot of the trailer where he goes, "There are no strings on me." And it sounds a lot better than my pathetic Ross impression, but it was really great, and it's really creepy how they keep emphasizing their line, "No strings on me," because obviously that's the Pinocchio song, and the song that plays through the trailer is literally Pinocchio singing, just slowed down and modified a lot, but if you listen, it's freaking Pinocchio singing through the Age of Ultron trailer, and it's scary! It's really scary, but so awesome, and so scary, but awesome. And yeah, so Ultron looks like he's going through multiple different forms. Obviously, the first one being when he first shows up to them in the part at the Avengers Tower party, and in that party, alongside all the Avengers, we also have we've got Agent Hill and the new character played by Kim, blah blah blah. Who's in the Avengers Tower with them, apparently playing like one of Tony's friends, and then Ultron shows up. That's like, it must be so horrifying for them to see. And good God, poor Tony. And oh my God, the Ultron, the first version of Ultron that was described in the Comic-Con trailer that we just finally got to see looks even more terrifying than I thought it would. So it's really freaking awesome. And then the version of Ultron that we saw at the very end of the trailer, and also in the one scene where we see Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch standing behind him, I assume that will be the second upgrade that Ultron gets, and then the third one being the one that we saw on the Entertainment Weekly cover. And so I assume that'll be the final version, like the version that looks like all the rest of his Ultron drones, or, you know, actually they're called Sentinels. And yeah, so I mean, the design of Ultron, everything about Ultron that we have seen in the film is so great, and Joss Whedon talked about how he will probably be, a lot of the humor comes from him because he's still a newborn to this world. I mean, granted, he wants to wipe out all the human race and save the world that way, because we're the problem, blah blah blah. It's just, he's still, regardless of how much knowledge he's able to get and how fast he's able to get it, he's still, you know, he hasn't seen everything, so apparently a lot of humor is going to come from that. You know, he'll be like, "An iPhone, what a horrible, inconvenient device for you pathetic humans." Something stupid. I mean, it'll probably sound a lot funnier than that, and the jokes will probably not be centered around iPhones, but you kind of get the idea. So that's awesome that a lot of humor will come from Ultron, because James Spader also said that Ultron's a little bit humorous in the movie, aside from his insanity. And I mean, the CGI, I bitched about how Ultron looked on the set photos, and I knew he would look a lot better with CGI, and oh my God, he does. And I was so right about that. I think we all were, because yeah, even I said, it does look okay, it's just I need to see it with CGI, and it looks great with CGI, and now I'm just really hoping that the final version of him that we saw in the Entertainment Weekly cover, at least I think it'll be the final version of Ultron, will actually look even better. And the Sentinels themselves that have the blue instead of the red, oh, blah, 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 so awesome. And yeah, what else is there to talk about in Age of Ultron? I mean, I'm trying to remember the entire trailer. Obviously this is a very global film. It's not going to be taking place in just one block of New York. You're going to have them traveling all over the world. And we see Cap going into what looks like a Hydra outpost. Obviously that's taking place 2 years after the Winter Soldier. And I'm just really hoping that a lot of things in this movie set up for the future movies. Like, I hope we see two cameos I'm hoping for. I'm hoping to see Bucky and Thanos at least once in the film. Obviously Thanos will get the end credits scene, but I mean, I hope to see Bucky, because obviously if Steve is going to die in the Civil War, or quote-unquote die, like, you know, quote-unquote he did in the comics, then they're going to need to start setting up Bucky as Cap now if they're going to be going that route. Obviously Chris Evans' contract is expiring. He already pretty much has displayed no interest in renewing it, because he said he wants to do more directorial stuff. So, and Robert Downey Jr., he sounds, my opinion over what he is going to be doing for Iron Man has changed a lot in these past couple months. Because originally I thought that he wants to be done with Iron Man and move on to other things, but now I'm looking at what he said, and so far it seems like he wants to keep playing Iron Man regardless of how many movies he's going to be in, and he wants to do it almost for the fans. And I think the thing is, I'm not sure how long Marvel will pay for him, and I mean, he's the most highly paid actor in Hollywood right now, so if Marvel can keep paying for him, it sounds like he'll be there as long as he can. So I mean, that sounds more exciting and a lot more. It's more of a relief for, you know, people like us who believe that no one else can be Iron Man. And I mean, that pretty much are almost, it's like it's strictly for me personally. I think it primarily only qualifies for Tony Stark, because Robert Downey Jr. I can't picture anyone else as Tony Stark. But then obviously Cap, you could eventually see one day Bucky or Sam Wilson taking up the mantle of Cap like they did in the comics, because they're open to that, and they've cast some incredible actors for those two characters, being, you know, Bucky and Sam. So I mean, I could see that happening. And granted, I will really sorely miss Chris Evans as Cap, but I mean, I could still see those two things happening and me living with that. But then recasting Robert Downey Jr., that's when I die. And that's when I stop watching Marvel movies, personally, because I can't see anyone else as Tony Stark. But I mean, yeah, and in this movie, another thing to note on is that it looks like Hulk and Black Widow are going to have some sort of possible love interest. I'm not completely sure on that, but in the trailer, when we see in the Avengers Tower, we see Natasha like sort of holding on to Bruce. I mean, like, she's trying to calm him down. Maybe she just wants to calm him down. It's nothing like that. But then later in the trailer, we see them touching hands, like in the middle of battle, and that's pretty insane. It looks pretty emotional, and obviously Bruce Banner is really struggling with all of this, because in the trailer we see in like 3 separate scenes that he's just fucking losing it. And so I can totally see how that's going to play out into Tony eventually stopping him and suiting up in the Hulkbuster armor, which once again I cannot emphasize how amazing it looks. And yeah, so that is a thing. And man, what else is there to talk about with Age of Ultron? We see Natasha standing in like an empty room, which a lot of people are speculating is a empty room where like one of the scenes in Winter Soldier took place, but all of Winter Soldier took place in DC, so I'm not sure why she'd be back in DC to like just mourn over S.H.I.E.L.D. So I don't know what that empty room scene was about with Natasha. But yeah, what else to talk about with Age of Ultron? I guess now I can talk about, obviously there is so much going on in just that one trailer alone. I am sure that I'm missing out on things that I really wanted to discuss. But yeah, holy freaking crap. I also heard that the first Batman vs. Superman trailer might be debuting with like the fall movies, like Big Hero 6, Interstellar possibly. God, why? We're so far out from Batman vs. Superman. It's just, if Warner Bros. Does that now, it will make them look so desperate to compete with Marvel. It will just be pathetic. I really hope they wait on that, because there's no reason for us to get a freaking Batman vs. Superman trailer teaser right now. It's just way too early, if you ask me. But it would be nice to get some more artwork, to say the least. This is my personal opinion, and yeah. Holy crap, though. I'm still talking about the Avengers here. What else? The sets. I want to talk about the sets. So now, if any of you guys have stuck around till the very end of this video, I want to talk about what I will be doing in terms of the sets for Age of Ultron. And while I really do have, I have 10 figures planned. I have 10 figures for Age of Ultron planned, but I want to take what I did with the Guardians and upgrade LEGO's official minifigures. If they screw something up as bad as they did Groot, then I make a whole new figure, that sort of thing. But if they make some really accurate and awesome molds and printing work, such as Star-Lord and Drax are good examples, then I will take those and upgrade them and do whatever I think necessary to make them about as accurate and as awesome looking as possible. But I can't do that until the actual sets come out, which I guarantee will probably be late February, which leaves me only about 2 months to get all 10 of those figures done and upgraded. So I will be hauling ass if I end up having to do that. But then there's also the possibility of me making my own Age of Ultron figures entirely, but the problem with that is then I'll have to sculpt Ultron's head. I'll have to sculpt, I'll have to sculpt a lot for Hulkbuster, for Hulk himself, because the hair is inaccurate on the current Hulk. And geez, what else? I mean, I would probably have to sculpt a lot, which I don't think would be that great, because if LEGO's going to be coming out with their own molds, which will guarantee look better than anything I'll be able to sculpt, then why should I do that? So I'm thinking I'll just wait until February, get the sets, and then haul ass. And that's what I'll do. So that's still really, that's still about, 4 months away before I end up actually having to start doing that. But the problem with that is, that doesn't give me a lot of time, like I've pretty much already said. So we'll see. And also 4 months is not a lot of time, and neither is 6 months, so it's definitely going to catch up on me. But yeah, so the sets are coming out. We're going to be getting 6 Age of Ultron sets, if I'm not mistaken, all of which I'm hoping they give us the entirety of the Avengers team. You know, Scarlet Witch, Quicksilver, Vision, and Hulkbuster included. I really hope they have those 4, because those are the 4 that I feel like could potentially not show up, though we pretty much already have a confirmed Scarlet Witch minifigure, because one of the sets is literally called Hulk versus Scarlet Witch. But so I assume we'll still get all of them. I'm just really praying we do get Vision and Hulkbuster, though. So we'll see about that. I do have 2 ideas for how I could do the Hulkbuster. But one of those ideas I'm really afraid you guys might not like. I will discuss that in a future vlog about what I might do for the Hulkbuster. And then the second option is something that you guys will also really love. So we will see what I end up choosing. But yeah, I have 2 options that I have going in my head right now for that. And today, actually, I should mention, if you're still at the end, if you're still listening, I could be going to get the Xbox One today. That's why I've been getting ready. I'm gonna head out to Best Buy, grab an Xbox One, go to GameStop, place all my pre-orders on the Master Chief Collection and on Assassin's Creed Unity. So I'm doing that today. But God, where the hell is my family? It's been 20 minutes I've been out here. But yeah, I think that is it, though, for my first general thoughts on the Age of Ultron trailer. And I just cannot wait to see how all of this plays in the Civil War, and what the emotional tension will be between the characters, and how amazing Ultron will be in the film, and so many other things that I'd love to discuss that hopefully I've addressed in this vlog. I mean, yeah. One thing that is also kind of frustrating is hairstyles. The hairstyles are never consistent when it comes to you know, directors transferring over. Obviously, this is 2 years later, but I mean, Black Widow is back to her short hair, which honestly, in my opinion, still looks ridiculous. But I mean, Cap's, you know, one thing they did do right with this film that Joss Whedon did not do right in the last film was the Captain America suit. And so the Captain America suit looks freaking phenomenal. Hawkeye basically doesn't have a new suit aside from the one we see him using in the snow. And I don't know. I think that's pretty much it. I think I've pretty much nailed all the primary subjects. No! Silence! That I wanted to talk about in this vlog, about my first thoughts for Age of Ultron, and how somehow we are already here and we already have the first trailer. My God, time stop. But yeah, so that is it for this vlog. My first vlog discussing the Avengers Age of Ultron. I know it's not the Avengers, it's Avengers, but I think it sounds better putting a "the" before the Avengers. So the Avengers Age of Ultron, and I cannot wait for this film and all the figures that I plan on making for it. It's gonna be pretty freaking exciting, guys. So yeah, thank you for sticking around. If you have watched the entirety of this vlog, it's no longer than my usual videos over on my main channel, so hopefully you did stick around. If you did, be sure to let me know in the comments below, and also your opinion on Age of Ultron and all the things that I've talked about in this vlog. So, holy crap, I had to use my sister's phone for this vlog because I have barely enough memory on my phone for like a 5-minute vlog. So yeah, but other than that though, guys, that is it for this vlog, and I will catch you later. All right, bye.